going by a certain time, so I signed it, and Will, I'm gonna give it to you, and you get it filed, and good job. It's a big job, thank you very much. So, we created a great deal of wealth, for that part of the world and that part of our country by doing this long, very, difficult road to build, and we'll be talking about that sometime later, but it's a great deal for our country, it's a great deal for the people of our country and for the taxpayers of our country.
Thank you, Mitchell.
And if you have any questions on that, let me know. Steve?
The road to be constructed, how quickly will I get underway?
Well, this road, as I said, industrial road, it'll have ownership. It'll likely be split between the state of Alaska, the federal government, and the Native Alaska corporations. We would expect that construction would begin next spring with planning throughout this winter. The 211-mile long road will be a gravel road with a solid design base to handle the weight of the trucks that are going in and out. This is typical design that far north because asphalt with a freeze-thaw cycle, very difficult with asphalt or concrete. So gravel, a fantastic gravel road is going to have the least impact on the environment, going to be the best suited purpose. Alaska's done this in the past with the Red Dog mine. They've built a toll road that again has ownership. The companies that use the road pay to transit that road. So this is an economic model used around the world in mining districts. We'll apply it right here. And again, it's going to generate revenue for the American people and for the citizens of Alaska as opposed to a cost.
And also two bridges, we're gonna build two bridges that will be able to complete, and we'll get them up very quickly.
And how long to complete? I mean, 211 miles, that's a lot.
We'll get it done in less than a year.
It's going to come in three phases. The first road, as President Trump said, will go quickly, which is they call it a pilot road. We'll build a single lane gravel road through the full duration of it. That'll be then expanded into a second phase and then a third phase over time. But again, we want to get that pilot road built because then we can help get materials back to help the mine get started quickly as well.
Mr. President, negotiations happening with your team in Egypt right now over your proposed plan. It was reported by Active over the weekend that you had called Prime Minister Netanyahu, where you told him to stop being so negative and to take the win when it came to the conference response to that. Is that true?
No, it's not true. He's been very positive. He's been very positive on the deal. Everybody is. I think every nation is. We have just about every nation working on this deal and trying to get it done. Something that you could say 3,000 years if you look at it in certain ways, and you could say centuries, but this is a deal that incredibly everyone just came together. They all came together. No, Israel's been great. They've all been good, Caleb.
And in the negotiations, do you see red lines in terms of Hamas disarming and whatnot? Are there
No, I have realized if certain things aren't met, we're not going to do it. But I think we're doing very well, and I think Hamas has been agreeing to things that are very important.
Mr. President, if the vote today fails in the Senate, will that trigger layoffs?
It could, at some point it will, and the Democrats are the ones that started this, and if you think about it, it's about health care to a large extent. It's about, we want great health care for people. We don't want to give the money away to other people that come pouring into our country, and they've already poured because nobody's coming into our country now. We have the border totally stopped. In fact, numbers we just announced again, we're at another zero. So we have zero for 4 months in a row. 0 people coming into our country illegally. That's a pretty good number. I'm not sure even I can believe that, Doug. If you want another trip, 0. We went from millions of people to 0, but it's pretty close to that number. And the way you stop them is not to give away, not to announce that you're giving everybody free health care, free this and that, but what that does, it affects the American people, because the American people are unable to get good health care. Obamacare has been a wreck, as you know, and to do that, we have to keep it propped up and do the best you can with it. It's a mess. But a lot of things are going on in that, we talk about Hamas, then we talk about negotiations that we have going on right now. We have a negotiation going on right now with the Democrats that could lead to very good things.
What kind of
And I'm talking about good things with regard to health care.
Are you speaking with Democratic leaders? What kind of negotiations?
Well, I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that. But we are speaking with the Democrats, and some very good things could happen with respect to health care.
Would you make a deal with them on the ACA subsidies?
if we made the right deal, I'd make a deal, sure. I mean, you have right now subsidies, that's the problem with Obamacare. The subsidies are so much, it's billions and billions of dollars is being wasted. And we can have a much better health care than we have right now. And we're talking to them, I mean, I'm not saying that's gonna happen, because this has also been going on, not for 3,000 years, but it's been going on for a long time, but, yeah, we're talking to them.
Can we work to make a deal with them on?
I'd like to see a deal made for great health care. Yeah, I want to see great health, I'm a Republican, but I want to see health care, but much more so than the
So,
Democrats.
from all of this, as you know, the American people are experiencing a lot of pain with any kind of government shutdown. And while you're dealing with Democrats and, of course, Republicans are standing their ground, what is your message directly to the American people who may encounter some of this pain and despair? How do you give them hope?
Well, up till now, there hasn't been a great deal of pain. There could be a great deal of pain, but up till now, there hasn't been. I will say this, just hang in there, because I think a lot of good things are gonna happen. That's all I can say. I mean, I think a lot of good things could happen, and they could also pertain to healthcare.
Follow-up question.
I've seen a surge in attacks on ICE agents across the country, including the shooting in Dallas and over the weekend in Chicago. We saw 10 cars boxing in on ICE agents and another one ramming into an ICE vehicle.
Yeah.
We have heard Secretary Mills saying that some of these attackers are actually organized and they're planning to kill
Sure.
and ambush these officers.
Right.
What are the consequences for these?
Very severe, we're gonna have very severe, we're gonna find out who's going after our federal agents. So when you look at Chicago, they've had probably 50 murders in the last 6 or 7 months, 8 months. Many, many people shot, like 30, 40, 50 people shot. Didn't die, but they've been shot. It's like a war zone. And then I listened to the governor and the mayor get up and say how they have it under control. They don't. It's probably worse than almost any city in the world. You can go to Afghanistan, you can go to a lot of different places, and they probably marvel at how much crime we have. Then you go to Memphis, where we are right now. Now, it's just like in Washington, D.C. right now, you people know better than I do, because you have to live right inside, and so many of the press have come to me, they've said, I can't believe it, it's changed so much. We have a safe city in Washington. Memphis will very soon have a safe city. Chicago can be very, very safe. It's going to be very safe, but Chicago is going to be very safe. And you say, why is it that a governor wouldn't accept free help from regardless? I mean, whether it's National Guard or the military or anybody. I mean, if women raped and beaten and knocked to hell, and the same with men where they're being shot all over the place in large numbers. I mean, we had a week in Chicago where 11 people were murdered and 38 people were shot. And then we have a governor get up and say, oh, it's safe, we can handle it. He can't handle it. He's an incompetent guy. That's why they threw him out of the family business. They threw him out. I knew the family business very well. And they threw him out. And now he's a governor. And he should say, we'd love to have a safer place. Chicago's a great city potentially. You know, I told you, the head of the Union Pacific Railroad said, sir, save Chicago. It's a great city. It's going to be lost if you don't do it. We have no choice but to do this. And when judges give us rulings that, you know, you don't have to do it, Portland is on fire. Portland's been on fire for years. And not so much saving it. We have to save something else, because I think that's all insurrection. I really think that's really criminal insurrection. So I appreciate the question. These are unsafe places. We're going to make them safe. So you see what's going on in Memphis. Not pretty, but you know what? We're doing a pretty job, because it's going to be a very safe place in a little while. And the people of Memphis are so happy over there. And the people of Chicago. So you have black women with MAGA hats on in Chicago, all over the place. They want the guard to come in, or they don't care who comes in. They just want to be safe. And they really don't care. You know, there was one woman, she was great today, she said, you know what? I don't care if it's the National Guard.
You know what? I'm a black woman, and I'm tired of Trump saying the same thing and speaking for black people. He is twisting the truth. And even though we have shown support for this president, I am not supporting this sending the military in to police citizens of the United States of America. They are supposed to be used to protect Americans from foreign threats, not to send them in, and he keeps using the same goddamn numbers for Chicago from around 5 months ago. Every city has an area, whether it's white, black, Hispanic, that has a higher crime rate. Chicago is the only city that he tries to make it like that's like the worst in the country, and it's not. There are 13 red states that have a higher crime rate than Chicago. But if they wanted to end the killings of black young people in Chicago, they could have done it a long time ago when the Democrats were in office. But they allowed this. They impoverish those areas. They take the resources, just like he's doing now, out of those areas. But they could pump $2 billion of taxpayers' money. That's what the black people complain about. They took their taxpayer dollar money to support illegal immigrants. But they won't put the damn money in the black neighborhoods where they deserve it. They are American citizens. And I'm tired of this. If we can take care of non-citizens and neglect our homeless and our homeless vets and keep hearing this bullshit like it's okay. What president ever has used the military, just city after city, but it's all urban. There's all these cop killings they're not talking about. There's brawlings. There's people invading schools and all kinds of stuff is going on that he's not talking about. And when he keeps saying the same thing over and over again, it's a lot of this is a lie. Nobody's saying they don't want safe streets. But that's what you got. They got the police, they got the FBI, the CIA, Homeland Security, they got all that. Why is the military being used? Bro, all those generals, 800, told them they were fat. Told them, y'all fat, it'll be a good training ground for y'all to go into the cities and police black people. You know what they did the other day in Chicago? Black people didn't ask for that. They didn't go to a legal immigrant shelter. They went to a building that had black tenants. That's what they did. And they took babies out naked. American citizens, naked babies. They freaking zip-tied the children. We're not asking for that. They zip-tied the babies, the children. They separated the parents from the children, American citizens. How you want to detain the whole goddamn building? And knowing the illegals weren't there. I'm sorry, y'all. I am so pissed off. I'm pissed off with this bull. I'm glad we got social media now. Now they can't control whether it's Democrats in the leadership or Republicans. They cannot control the goddamn narrative. And if they won't speak the truth, we will. You cannot justify sending them in there to an apartment building with American citizens, ICE. Why is ICE going after American citizens? And then they wouldn't let him go until they checked each one out, because, he wanted to get his goddamn black numbers up with arrests for his farms, because the farmers need farm help. You got rid of the illegal immigrants, so you go into urban cities, so you can take these young kids, they want to reduce them to age 13, 14, put them on your goddamn farms. That's slavery for 40 years. And he's talking about that black people born criminals, and let's arrest them now as a child, because in 20 years, then they might be a goddamn criminal. What kind of America is this?
Makes no sense.
How you going to try to arrest children now, saying they might be a criminal? So, well, then the white kids might be a mass shooter next week, or a school shooter next week, or a cop killer next week. All this is going on and no mention by this White House. You got to look at, if you want to make America safe, then look at all ethnicities. Don't try to say black people are thugs when you got people that, look at the guy, Tyler Robinson had taken out Charlie Kirk. Unfortunately, it wasn't the left. It wasn't a radical left. It was one man, allegedly by the name of Tyler Robinson, committed that killing. But then you want to blame half of the country that you're supposed to represent. President Trump is not the president of just MAGA and the right. He is the goddamn president of all America. And he needs to stop saying radical left and the right. the trans, or whatever the case may be. You're still their president. Can't keep dividing the country. We are one nation under God. And he can't keep saying those women were complaining about the resources that were taken from the black community, $2 billion to support the immigrants, and they got all that killing that was going on in those less fortunate areas that they won't put no money into it. Make it make sense. I thank God that we got social media. Thank God that there's thousands of people that have no skin in the game that could put the truth out. Tired of all these lies. Like, that's what we want. That's what Biden did with the 1994 crime bill. Everybody thought it was a great idea until they had mass incarceration of black men. That's exactly the playbook he's running again.
And Bill Clinton.
And yeah, Bill Clinton signed it into law. Telling them, oh, y'all will be safe if black men are locked up. Crime don't stop when black people are locked up. That's just because prison is a business, and they just want to make money. It's all about the Benjamins. Not going for all that nonsense. Be the president of all Americans.
Lori, how's it wrong?
Be the president of all. Look at some of my other videos. I'm going to be putting this stuff up. Yeah. Be the president of all of us.
You have a mod to say your truth is 100% wrong. How's it wrong?
We don't care what they think. Because you know what? You're going to answer to God. Everybody think they're so empowered and entitled. Y'all can say whatever you want to, but guess what? You can't lie to God. You can't trick God.
The black Republican YouTubers.
Yeah, they want the black. No, we not them.
We'd love to have a safer place. Chicago's a great city potential. I told you, the head of the Union Pacific Railroad said, sir, save Chicago. It's a great city. It's going to be lost if you don't do it. We have no choice but to do this. And when judges give us rulings that, you don't have to do it, Portland is on fire. Portland's been on fire for years. And not so much saving it. We have to save something else because I think that's all insurrection. I really think that's really criminal insurrection. So I appreciate the question. These are unsafe places. We're going to make them safe. So you see what's going on in Memphis. Not pretty. But you know what? We're doing a pretty job because it's going to be a very safe place in a little while. And the people of Memphis are so happy that we're there. And the people of Chicago. So you have black women with MAGA hats on in Chicago, all over the place. They want the guard to come in, or they don't care who comes in. They just want to be safe. And they really don't care. There was one woman, and she was great today. She said, you know what? I don't care if it's the National Guard, the Army, the Marines, the Air Force. I don't care who comes in as long as we're safe. And that's the way most of the public feels. We're going to make Chicago really great again, and we're going to stop.
Look at my video. Make New York, Pennsylvania great again. They killed 5 times.
City by city. We're going to have safe cities. And it was so great that we started with our nation's capital. One of the worst, so many people. Every week, somebody was killed. They come from Iowa, they come from Indiana, they want to see the Jefferson Memorial, the Lincoln Memorial. They want to see something and they get shot. And you call their parents, I'm sorry, but your son is dead. And they go, what do you mean he's dead? Came to Washington, D.C., not anymore, that's not happening anymore. We have a safe place, we have a safe capital. It's as safe as we have probably almost just about in the country. And if you look back 6 months ago, 7 months ago, this was a death trap. You look back during the Biden, what they did, how badly they managed it.
That Stephen Miller.
And almost all of these cities, most of these cities are Democrat run. And we don't care, Democrat, Republican, we're going to make them safe. So we have to save Chicago, it's very important. And you can't have a governor getting up and saying it's good when 11 people were shot over a weekend. What?
The Insurrection Act, under what conditions or terms did you?
Well, I do it if it was necessary. So far, it hasn't been necessary, but we have an Insurrection Act for a reason. If I had to enact it, I'd do that. If people were being killed and courts were holding us up, or governors or mayors were holding us up, sure, I'd do that. I want to make sure that people aren't killed. We have to make sure that our cities are safe. And it's turning out, and we started with DC. It's been so successful. Think of it. People wouldn't go to restaurants. The restaurants were closing. We were losing a lot of restaurants, as you all know. And now restaurants are opening and they're thriving. And I went 2 weeks ago and it was great. I'm gonna go again. I felt very safe, very safe. Forgetting about guards and Secret Service, and I would have gone, it would have been very safe. DC is a great, and look at the cleanliness of DC. Look at how it's clean. You don't have tents all over the place. We had parks where you couldn't even walk through the park. You had people from tents, and there were violent people. Some of these people were violent people. We have a great, safe capital again. And if you look at it in 6 months from now, it'll be the most beautiful anywhere in the world. It's being cleaned, the graffiti's all gone now, the tents are all gone. We have a capital that you can be proud of, but it'll only get better with time.
Tomorrow is October 7th, the 2-year anniversary of the original Israeli attack. Do you expect a Gaza deal tomorrow, or any sort of hostage deal tomorrow?
I think we're gonna have a deal. It's a hard thing for me to say that, when for years and years they've been trying to have a deal with Gaza, but, literally for centuries, okay, if you really think about it. But, we're gonna have a Gaza deal, I'm pretty sure, yeah.
And what was your introduction with talks about the talks?
Well, I'm the one that got the hostages back, remember that, you know? I'm the one that,
I was gonna ask you that.
yeah, I got them back.
Israeli citizens are celebrating what you've accomplished
Yeah.
in this deal. Should it come through, there will be a lot of celebration on the streets of Israel. The hostages' families, have they been in contact with you with regard to this deal that
Yeah.
could happen?
They're so happy about it. It's like, they can't breathe. One said, I can't breathe. You know, it's very sad because you have hostages and you have people that are no longer living. But the parents, and I've said this to you many times, the parents want the bodies of their boy back, the bodies of, their loved one back. In most cases, they're young men, and they're dead. And there's probably 32 or so, about that number. Nobody knows exactly what the number is. They want that body back as much as if their son were alive. I've been with them. Many have come to the White House, to the Oval Office. I've been with many of the people that I got released. We have a fantastic group working on it. Steve Witkoff has been amazing. I took Jared out because Jared's you don't find anybody more capable, and we have the A+ team working on it. I think we've made tremendous progress. The people of Israel wanted to happen, but the people related to hostages, you see in Israel tens of thousands of people. They really want the hostages back, and they really want things to end. And I think Hamas now has been, all I can say is they've been fine. They've been fine. I hope it's going to continue that way. I think it will. I really think we're going to have a deal. We have a really good chance of making a deal, and it'll be a lasting deal. We want to have peace. This is beyond Gaza. Gaza is a big deal, but this is really peace in the Middle East. And the amazing thing is we have every Arab country, every Muslim country, we have every country surrounding. They all want. I spoke with President Erdogan of Turkey. He's fantastic. He's been pushing very hard. He's a very powerful guy, and he's been pushing very, very hard to get this deal done. And Hamas has a lot of respect for him. They have a lot of respect for Qatar. They have a lot of respect for UAE and Saudi Arabia. Everybody is on our side to get this deal done. There's never been anything like it. Nobody's ever seen it. There's always been like 80% of them don't want something done. I think virtually, we even had a very strong signal, as you know, from Iran. They'd like to see this done.
Mr. President, Governor Abbott offered us the Texas National Guard to Have you had any other conversations with other red state governors?
They're willing to offer. Every one of them is willing to offer whatever we need. We thank Governor Abbott of Texas. Every one of the red state, as you call them, red state governors is willing to give whatever we need because they want our agents protected. These ICE agents have a tough job. They have to go in and get, in many cases, stone-cold criminals, hardened criminals, long-time criminals. And every essentially Republican governor has offered up whatever we need, and some Democratic governors. Daniel?
Yes, Mr. President, thank you. Quick question on the subject of the order. In the Biden administration previously speaking, they shut down Alaska for business. You reversed that, reversed it on day one, you opened it up, going after all the critical minerals. This mission of yours, Secretary Burgum, Secretary Biden, to boost our own independent production of critical minerals, rare
Well, it's
earths,
necessary,
talk
right?
about how important that is over the next 4 years.
Well, it's very necessary. You know, in the past, we were able to go to other countries, buy whatever we want, but all of a sudden, if those countries are hostile, and by the way, China hasn't been, we've made deals with China, you know, they approved the TikTok deal, everyone said you'd never get the TikTok deal approved, they approved it, and we have great people buying it, big, strong American companies are buying it, the most prestigious companies there are, actually, and they're gonna make sure everything's good, but President Xi was great, he approved it. So I'm not saying hostile, but it's good to have our own minerals. And, you know, we create a tremendous value by creating a road. We build a road that only we can do because we have the rights to do it, number one, and we have the power to do it. And so we build a road that's over 200 miles long through a very beautiful area of the world. Actually, it's incredible. When you look at it, it's incredible. But a rough area from the standpoint of building. So we get a road done. And with that, we unleash billions and billions of dollars of wealth. Pretty amazing when you think of it. And it's wealth that we need if we're going to be the number one country. You know, we're number one now with AI. You probably read. We're beating everybody with AI at levels that nobody ever thought even possible. And one of the reasons we are is because of energy. So our grid is old and tired, like most grids are. They get old with time. I mean, you know, the older you are, the older the grid gets, right? But I've allowed the people building AI or other plants, other types of plants, but AI in particular, because they need so much electricity, I've allowed them to build their own power. And it's been amazing. They're building massive plants, and with the plant, they're building their own electricity. They've become a utility in a sense. I said, maybe you'll do better with the utility than you do with the AI, I don't know. But we're letting them build their own electricity. So we don't have to worry about the grid, we don't have to worry about anything. And they're gonna build it in such a way that if they have excess capacity, they're gonna put it back into the grid. It's pretty amazing. So when they build, we're giving them permits to build their own electric power plants, and it's incredible when you see what they're doing. And because of that and other things that we're doing, we're leading every country. Nobody's even close to us with AI. And AI seems to be the big thing. I don't know, I can't tell you that. There are a lot of people building, and a lot of people have high stock prices because of AI. So a lot of people think it's great stuff, and I think it's great stuff. I look at it, it's amazing what it can do. In terms of medical costs, in terms of knowledge, it's basically information, and information at a level that nobody thought possible before. So we'll see. But they're building plants where you saw the one overlay that I did where, in this case it's Meta, one of their plants is essentially almost the size of Manhattan. And it's a building, you know, it's a building that covers Manhattan. So it's big stuff, and nobody's even close to us. We're leading AI by so much.
Mr. President,
Yeah, go ahead, please.
since the start of your administration, a lot more Americans wanting to join ICE, and as we're seeing more attacks on them right now, what's your message to rank and file ICE agents who are trying to do their jobs, but also seeing 1,000% increase in attacks?
I love your questions, you know, I like you. So who are you with?
I'm with NTV.
Very good.
Who got mugged?
You were the one, that's what I thought, you got mugged, you're not getting mugged anymore. She was really, you're lucky to be with us with that deal that happened, I know all about that. You know, not anymore though, you feel a different world out there, right?
You're safe with the baby now.
Oh, good, well, you're safe now, nobody's gonna be hurting you in any way. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. So, the bottom line on your question, we're just gonna make things real safe. We're gonna have a country that you can be proud of, not a country that you read about every day where somebody gets mugged from behind or hit over the head with a baseball bat. Those people aren't with us any longer. Yeah, please. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. On today's call with Lula from Brazil,
Yeah.
are you considering lowering tariffs after the call?
Well, I had a great talk with the president of Brazil. It was a Good man. I met him actually at the United Nations. I was going up to make a speech and I didn't have a teleprompter. I was walking up to my teleprompter. I said, I don't have a teleprompter. But just before that, I met with President Lula, and I found him to be very good. I mean, we had a very good talk for about, 2 minutes. And then I went up to make a speech, and I was surprised to see, how would you like that one, Doug? I've got every leader in the world sitting out there. My teleprompter isn't on. You know why, Daniel? Because it was a rigged deal. But fortunately, I made a better speech than I would have if I read it off a teleprompter, which is pretty easy to do. So it was quite a day. That was a big day. But we met and we liked each other. And yeah, we had a great conversation. Yeah, we'll start doing business.
And are you considering coming to Berkeley for COP?
At some point, I would, and he's going to come here. We talked about that.
And a follow-up question on Israel. Israeli government has been arresting and supporting activists that were coming to Gaza. Today, Greta Thunberg, for instance, also some...
Well, she's just a troublemaker, I mean, she's no longer into the environment, now she's into this. She's a troublemaker. She has an anger management problem. I think she should see a doctor. She needs anger. If you ever watch her, she's a young person. She's so angry. She's so crazy. Now you can have her. She's just a troublemaker. Yeah, please. Say it.
The Supreme Court is back, and they rejected today an appeal by Maureen Maxwell to overturn her conviction. That means her only chance of getting out of prison is a pardon from you. Is that something you're open to?
Who are we talking about?
Maureen Maxwell.
I haven't heard the name in so long. I can say this, that I'd have to take a look at it. I would have to take a look. Did they reject that?
She wanted to appeal her conviction.
And what happened?
She said that they were not going to hear her appeal.
I see. Well, I'll take a look at it. I will speak to the DOJ. I wouldn't consider it or not consider. I don't know anything about it. So, but I will speak to the DOJ. I don't know. I mean, I'd have to speak to the DOJ. I'll look at it. I have a lot of people who have asked me for pardons. I call him Puff Daddy has asked me for a pardon.
So she was convicted of child sex trafficking.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to take a look at it. I have to ask DOJ. I didn't know they rejected it. I didn't know she was even asking for it, frankly.
If you made a decision on whether to supply Tomahawk missiles to Ukraine or sell them to NATO and let them sell them to Ukraine,
yeah, I sort of made a decision, pretty much, if you consider, I think I want to find out what they're doing with them.
yes.
Where are they sending them, I guess, I'd have to ask that question. That war should never have started, would have never started. Such bad judgment was used there, I think on both sides, by the way. But nobody looks good with the war with Russia and Ukraine, nobody. It's been a horrible... This week they lost over 7,000 soldiers between the two of them. This is every week they're losing 7,000, 8,000, 5,000.
They had a range of like 1,500 miles or something, so they'd be able to...
No, I know. No, I would ask some questions. I would see what... I'm not looking to see escalation.
Yes. And tomorrow you're meeting with the Canadian Prime Minister. What's on the agenda for that?
Well, I guess he's going to ask about tariffs because a lot of companies from Canada are moving into the United States, Everybody's moving back into the U.S., and he's probably going to be asking about tariffs. They're losing a lot of companies in Canada. They're coming into they left here. They left here 20 years ago when presidents that sat right at this desk weren't doing their job properly. They were probably good politicians, but they weren't good at business, and they allowed these companies to leave. And all they had to do is do what I'm doing right now. And, I'm not saying it's the easiest thing to do, but it is. It's effective. We're a rich country again. We're a powerful country because, I've ended 7 wars. At least half of them was because of my ability at trade and because of tariffs. If I didn't have tariffs to throw around a little bit, you would have at least 4 wars raging right now with thousands of people a day being killed that aren't happening. We settled. We settled 7. We're getting close to settling 8. That would be a big one. And that's something that could happen. But so I think he's coming probably to talk about tariffs because a lot of companies are leaving Canada to come into the U.S. And they're leaving Mexico. And by the way, they're leaving China. They're leaving all over the world to come into the U.S. Nobody's actually seen anything like it.
Would you shift your position on tariffs in response to whatever.
Well, I mean, look, my position turned out to, everybody said, I'm right. They find billions of dollars that they didn't even know they had. Recently, they said they found billions of dollars, and they couldn't understand. I said, check the tariff shelf. And they come in the next hour, and they said, sir, you're right, it was from the tariffs. We're a rich, really rich country again, but more importantly, maybe, influence. If I didn't have the power of tariffs, you would have at least 4 of the 7 wars raging. I use tariffs to stop wars. If you look at India and Pakistan, they were ready to go at it. 7 planes were shot down. They were ready to go at it, and they're nuclear powers. And I don't want to say exactly what I said, but what I said was very effective. They stopped. And that was based on tariffs. It was based on trade. Tariffs are very important for the United States. We are a peacekeeper because of tariffs. Not only do we make, hundreds of billions of dollars, but we're a peacekeeper because of tariffs.
Mr. President, on the shutdown, Mr. President, the shutdown that occurred during your first term lasted 35 days. How long do you expect this shutdown to go?
Well, you don't know. Look, I can say this, that it would have not happened except for the Democrats. The Democrats are very foolish. They've lost their way. And we have a new thing now. When you look at, it's called crime. It's called absolute, as Biden would say, well, I won't say what he would have said. Remember what he said? It's a 3-letter word. No. Remember that one? Let me say, what was that all about? He probably meant exclamation point or something after the word. But this is a 5-letter word, crime. C-R-I-M-E. And we want to put it out, and are putting it out, and they don't. They don't seem to care about it, but they do care. I believe that Pritzker and this mayor of Chicago that like to say about they don't have it under control. Not only is it not under control, it's the opposite. And I believe they're afraid, they're scared for their lives. I believe that the Portland people are scared. You look at what's happened with Portland over the years, it's a burning hellhole. And then you have a judge that lost her way, that tries to pretend that like there's no problem. Actually, she's not even saying that. There's a huge problem in Portland. I'll tell you what the problem is, crime. Okay, crime. And it's a huge problem in Chicago. It's called crime. And we want to put out the crime, and they want to inflame the crime. And why they want to, I don't know, but it could be that Pritzker is scared for his life. Yeah.
You like that, just one little flag. Can you have an update on the investigation into what happened to you after you went last month? And also, what's your message to Americans who are concerned about your and your family's safety? And you're very out of the way.
Yeah, I am out there, there's no question about it. Well, at the UN, we had a problem with the teleprompter. We had another problem that nobody has actually talked about. The people in the room didn't hear my speech. Did you know that? The people in the room, they didn't have any loudspeakers, and they didn't hear my speech. And I thought I made a really good speech. I mean, considering I didn't have the use of teleprompter, which is unusual. But I made a speech. I could have walked off the stage. I guess most people, Doug, I think most people would have just said, we'll see you in about a half an hour, right? But, they obviously turned off I think they turned off the teleprompter, but there was a reason that it didn't work. I actually know the reason. They didn't let the teleprompter person into the room, okay, which is essentially the same thing. So I made a speech. It turned out to be a very good speech, got good reviews. I went out to the audience after the speech. I saw my wife. I said, how good was that speech? Was that unbelievable or what? She said, I didn't hear a word you said. I said, what do you mean? She was sitting in the front. I said, what do you mean? She said, you couldn't hear anything that you said. The speakers were turned off. So I think that's pretty bad stuff, right? Especially since we support most of the United Nations. And yet I still want to keep it in New York. Because I think the United Nations has tremendous potential. If properly run, the United States has tremendous potential. But think of this, I settled 7 wars. I never spoke to the United Nations about it, not one of them. You look at, and those were wars that were raging a long time, and in many cases. And I settled 7, I never heard from the United, they didn't help me. They should be able to settle the wars. I shouldn't have to be settling the wars. Yeah, please.
Last week you signed the security guarantees for gutters. Do you see any role for the Senate in that? Do they have to vote on that, or do you think?
Well, I wouldn't mind if they did. If they want to, they'd let me know. Nobody said that, but, you know, guitar's been very, very helpful to us in this process, and I think you'll find that. I think maybe the most influential, very influential, very strong. With Hamas, they're very strong, and Turkey has likewise been helpful. I mean, honestly, UAE, Saudi Arabia, everybody's been helpful. I just spoke today with the King of Jordan, and he's been terrific too. I can't think of any country that's been negative about this. This is why it should happen. I mean, everybody wants it to happen. And usually when everybody, including, I think, Hamas, and when they want it to happen, it's gonna happen.
Are you worried that your own statements calling for his prosecution could help him actually in his defense of this?
No, I think he's a crooked guy. He's a dirty cop. Comey, I think he's a dirty cop. He's recognized by many people to be a dirty cop and dishonest guy. So all I have to do is, I mean, I have nothing to do with the case. I just say,
But you call him on you to prosecute him?
No, I don't call anybody. You know what? I'm allowed to do that if I wanted to do that. But Comey's a crooked guy. He has been for years. And he got caught. Look, he lied. This is just a simple case. He totally lied. And then he confirmed the lie on, I guess, numerous occasions, or at least one occasion. He confirmed the lie. He said, that's what I said, and I stand by it. And, you know, I mean, the guy, I think he didn't say, to the best of my knowledge. He didn't say, well, I don't remember. He made a very definitive statement, and a very important statement concerning him. And he got caught in an outright lie, and that's why a group of people, it wasn't me that voted, they voted to indict him. But he's a crooked guy, in my opinion, and we'll find out. The court's gonna determine that in a little while, I guess, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna do some farm stuff this weekend. Yeah, please.
Navy yesterday celebrating.
It was unbelievable.
50th. Can you talk about that, and as we get closer to America's 250th, you've initiated a prayer initiative as well.
Yeah.
Talk to me about both of those events and why they're so important, particularly the prayer initiative going forward to the...
Well, we have, and we're dealing, as you know, with all of the different, and not just evangelicals, Christians. We're dealing with lots of different faiths, religions. And I felt for a long time that, you know, if a country doesn't have religion, doesn't have faith, doesn't have God, it's going to be very hard to be a good country. You know, there's no reason to be good. I want to be good because you want to prove to God that you're good, so you go to that next step, right? So that's very important to me. I think it's really very important. And yesterday was amazing. We went out, we went to the naval base, the largest in the world, actually, and I saw things that were incredible. The level of I don't want to use the word weapons, but they are weapons. It's the technology of these planes, or the carriers, and all of the different things that we saw. They gave us missile displays. They did the whole, I don't think they've ever done anything like it, but it was really impressive. And the talent of the pilots where they can land, you know, the aircraft carriers look massive, but when you put them in the middle of, like, the Atlantic, or in this case, pretty far off the coast of Virginia, and it's sitting in a big ocean, and it was pretty calm yesterday, but it's still a little bit testy, right? And you'd have these guys land right on a thing and come to a sudden screeching halt, and they're really something. They were taking off yesterday, and they looked all, oh, sure. And then you see them, and you see them just get ripped back into the seat because the G-forces are so great. And actually, if you're not in great shape, because they were doing maneuvers that were incredible yesterday, and the admirals were explaining that if you're not in really good shape, you don't make it because you pass out. You know, these guys, and women, I met some women pilots that, I mean, it's incredible what they're able to do. So we saw something that was great, and you saw the spirit, because we had for a couple of thousand, I think they had probably 22,000, largely sailors, all dressed in the most beautiful white. There wasn't a spot on any of those uniforms. I looked at them, it was just a wave of white, and it was a great crowd and great reception. So, getting back to a very important question that was asked, when you go back a year ago, people weren't joining the armed forces. They weren't joining the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, the Coast Guard, Air Force. If you look at, any of them, they weren't joining Space Force. And now we're setting records recruitment, and that goes for police and fire. Now they want to be policemen, they want to be firemen. And firemen, people don't mention them, they're incredible. I know so many of them, they're brave as hell. I wouldn't want to do it, okay? But they weren't able to recruit, the police weren't able to recruit, and the military wasn't able to recruit. We were really off. And I got elected, and it really started on November 5th. I got elected, and somehow the country developed the spirit. Financially, yes, but also with the military. And now we have records. So it's nice to meet you. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you guys, thank you guys, let's go, thanks guys, thank you guys, thanks guys, let's go, let's go.
Wow. I'm almost getting frustrated and tired of hearing the same rhetoric from our elected officials. I think they really forget that they're working for the American people, that they can say whatever they want to the American citizens. Right now, we have a government shutdown, and they're just waiting right now to fire or lay off more federal workers. I know that a lot of the workers and federal workers, they make a living wage. I don't know if people understand that there are unions and laborers that have fought for them to have the benefits that they have. Like those jobs are middle class jobs. Those are the jobs that keep America running. Because you want to have a country that's not just the rich, the super rich, and the poor. The middle class is the balance. You need the middle class, but when you're going to get rid of middle class jobs and don't replace them, that just increases the unemployment rate. Now, the last report, and we haven't heard anything since, it was only 22,000 jobs that were added to the job market. And hopefully those were Americans. That's scary. Over 300,000 Black women lost their jobs, the highest number than any other number. Why is that? Now, most of your Black women are running households by themselves because of the 1994 crime bill. It caused mass incarceration of Black men. So they were over sentenced, and they did, this mass incarceration. It took the fathers, the sons, the brothers, the uncles, the nephews, and they put them in prison. And even different leaders and leadership, even President Biden said that was wrong, that the way that it turned out, it was another atrocity done to Black Americans. And this goes on and on. And what concerns me is that I'm looking at the same playbook that Biden used to cause mass incarceration of Black people. Trump is doing the same playbook. When I decided to vote Republican, I voted for Trump because of his previous his administration, number 45. He did a lot for the Black community. The Black employment rate was high. It was at the peak. Even when he was running, he said, look at the Black employment. The rate is down. The numbers are down. And this is what he was saying. He helped out the HBCUs. He funded them well. They didn't have to come every year, the presidents of the colleges requesting funds to keep the schools running. He provided that. He was the one that got the First Step Act passed and signed. It was President Trump with the help of his son-in-law, Kushner. They got it done. So all the good works that Trump has done, I don't recognize what's going on now. Because when you keep on trying to, like even Washington, what triggered Trump was that one Doge guy had gotten beaten up. Not killed, like the cops are being killed all over this country. Look at some of my other videos. Look at some of my other videos. Because he ignores white on white crime. He ignores all the other crime. I mean, mass shooters, school shooters, cop killers. He ignores all of that. All of it's being ignored. And he keeps giving the same numbers from Chicago that were a few months ago. But they can resolve that if they want to. They know it has to do with the economics. They know that they're impoverished. They know all of this. But they could take $2 billion of taxpayers' money and they could give it to illegal immigrants who didn't pay anything into our job market. They gave it to the people that just came into this country. They gave them education. They gave them schooling. They gave them driver's license. They gave them social security numbers. They gave them Medicare, Medicaid, luxury apartments. They gave them SNAP. They gave them everything that they didn't have to work for. They came in here homeless. And we're still asking this government to do right by us. But it's okay. God is still sitting on the throne. And people really believe that they can continue being hateful and evil, and they're never going to have to answer to God. These people think, all these people to get into office, whether it's Republicans or Democrats, they think that they have all the power, and they don't. They don't. God does. God does. And a lot of them are older. They're going to meet their maker soon, and they're going to stand before God and give an account. But we need leadership that's going to do right by all the people. I don't want to keep hearing them talk. I mean, it's wearing me out hearing about the radical left. Every time an individual commits a crime that's not black, it's radical left. Every time. And then they got mental illness. Or they had a bad childhood. But when a black person commits a crime, you see a crazy picture up and like black people haven't been traumatized in this country for the last 400 years. And like black people don't suffer from mental illness as well. The grace is not given. I want leadership from president on up to be about all the people. Not he is the president of all of us. Even if I didn't vote Republican, he is the president of the, why you keep calling them the left? Call them Americans. Americans. This one-sided righteousness is ridiculous. One-sided righteousness. We have to get away from that. Everything is not white.
Daddy, to say that is just totally ignoring everything that black people have went through.
This country was founded, they say, on biblical principles. Show me
He
that.
said everyone's having racial tensions, every race.
You know, this is ridiculous. But every race hasn't been enslaved in this country. Every race hasn't been lynched. They just lynched Trey Reed after the unfortunate death of Charlie Kirk that was committed by allegedly Tyler Robinson. But they made that, at first they were saying, oh, that person needed to be, I think her name was Mason, Senator Mason. Oh, whoever did it, they need the death penalty and all that. Once they found it out that it was a white young man, oh, well, we need to forgive him. That's what her next, but if it was a black man, it wouldn't have been those same sentiments. We know that. We know that. We have to stop this left and understand that we're all Americans and it's all right to have a different opinion. Everyone on here, and we'll have moderators, but we don't have to have all Republican moderators or MAGA. We got Democrats, as long as y'all don't squash each other out, that y'all just,
That's another thing.
we want the communication going, but we're not going to get on here and lie. I see so many of these other black freaking commentators, they sell outs to another level. I mean, God, they're put just for money, for money. We don't make money. We don't care. We're not doing this for money. We're doing this for the truth. Because there's going to come a time, right now we're trying to bomb Venezuela. Putin is laughing at us. Trump is acting like something Putin would do. If we saw Putin sending the military into the cities in Russia, we would be talking about how much he is a dictator, how evil and wicked he is. Look what he's doing to his own citizens. We would be throwing him so far under the bus. But our president behavior is not American. There's no justification. And keep telling me, I'm making y'all safe. You're not making us safe. You're only selecting just black people. We are are not criminals. We're like, and that's the problem I had. He said, black people are born criminals. How can you label you? He's a felon. Byron Donalds, that they got the black man to do the 2025 mass incarceration of black people, starting with our babies. They got him sitting there trying to become governor of Florida when his ass was convicted twice by the time he was 18 of crimes. And now he's a senator running for a governor. So you're saying that little children can't be rehabilitated?
Jason, you're crying saying that Trump isn't a felon. You're doing what you're saying we're doing. You're
He
crying.
is a felon.
Yeah.
He's a felon
Saying we've been
that
doing
never spent not one day in jail and became president of the United States of America, and we voted for him.
He's saying we've been doing it for 50 years. But he's saying that Trump's not a felon when he is a felon.
He's a felon. He's considered a criminal. There are a lot of people in Congress or in these political offices that have been convicted of crimes. And the same grace that been given to them, you give it to others. You give it to others. How can you say how awful someone is when you know what you've been through and who you are? We got to do right by all people. Right now, Putin, he's laughing at us. They're watching Trump say, look what he's doing to the American citizens. How y'all feel about that? How y'all feel about that? Using our own military, saying that's good training ground to go after American citizens. What kind of twilight zone are we living in? We have police officers who are trained to police. We have other federal agencies. But you want to send the military in? You want to send them into all our cities and say, oh, you're going to tell us, oh, y'all are all going to be safe. That's the same bullshit Biden said when he did mass incarceration of black people. And it's the same playbook. Get all the black people go, oh yeah, we'll be safer. Oh, we can go in restaurants now. But we're not doing all these mass murders and shootings and killings. If a black person had killed one cop or all these cops, it'd probably be a civil war. They in York, Pennsylvania, 5 cops ambush. 5. 3 died. They won't even say the man's name that killed him. Won't even say his name. Call him out. Won't even say his name. Won't show his picture. Other cops shot 15 times, 10 times in the back of the head. Won't say the people names. They don't put the pictures up. 2 other little kids trying to mass shoot kids, 13 years old. The Evergreen High School. Same time Charlie Kirk, unfortunately, lost his life, had a mass shooter there. You know, did he talk about any? I mean, it's like 100. We could go on and on.
And the one guy they were saying was an actor.
An actor. They killed the freaking police officers. They supposed to love so much. Not one word. Not one word about the CDC. The officer that lost his life from a mass shooter. Nothing about the guy that went into Target and killed all those people and then carjacked 2 people. Not a word. Not a word. But want to keep paint this picture. We're not thugs and we're not criminals. We're educated, articulate professionals. God made us all the same. And if you don't like our skin color, then take it up with God. Take it up with God. Because he's the creator. He made the human race. And there's no one race that's going to heaven if you make it there. You can't go to God, well, God, I'm white, and you know how them black people, what? God made us all beautiful and different. And that's a beautiful thing. Thank God I'm black. I love the color of my skin. I love being black. We got so much swag. Black Americans are like the top of the food chain of the world. We set all culture, standard, fashion, music, everything. 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 Style, everybody. You got Asians acting black, Hispanics acting black, white people acting black, everybody. You know, hip hop, all of it. And it's fine. I'm tired of them dividing us. But what I am going to do, if you guys want to, y'all can leave prayer requests in the comments after the chat. Leave a prayer request. If you are about to lose your home, if you maybe a federal worker might lose your job, if you're going through a diagnosis and you need to lean on God, you need prayer. If your kids are being bullied or you don't know what happening to your children at school, or they are hanging around the wrong group of people, whatever the case may be, whatever you're going through, leave a prayer request. Leave a prayer request, because I'm going to a big prayer, and we're going to break open the sky of heaven, and we're going to pray for this nation, because prayer changes it. We're going to pray for this nation. And like some of the prayers or whatever, if y'all leave it, I'll lift it up and I'll speak it up and speak it out on your behalf or whatever for your families. And to bring, because families aren't speaking, families aren't together, even because of how people voted. We got people in our family that don't even speak to us because of how we voted. To bring families back together. Family first. Well, God first, then, family. It's important for, if they won't get it right, the people that's supposed to be in leadership. We got Stephen Miller. He talks so much hate to him. We're going to unleash the storm. Just take him out. We're going to unleash the storm. His message, listen to what he said in Memphis. This man is out there. They say he's a white supremacist, and he looked like he got the calling card. All the hateful rhetoric that's coming from him, and nobody elected him into any position. He's so happy to be able to spew his hate onto the American citizens. He's all powerful. And what made up office? He got an office like Elon, I guess. We got people that are running this country that haven't been voted into office. Lord, help us. Help us. But I'm not going to listen to lies, rhetoric. That's why I'm glad that we don't have to just listen to MSNBC, CNN, Fox News, ABC, CBS, Morning Joe, Meet the Press, Charlemagne the God, Roland Martin, D.L. Hughley. All these people. Thank God that they are content creators that really care about this country. We need righteous leaders. We need people that are going to be about all this. Because right now, I thought Trump would stop us from spiraling down. I did not know that American citizens were going to be attacked. And that the plan was to go after Americans. I didn't see that one coming. I thought it was about getting us back on our feet, closing the borders, getting Americans back to work. Because we already was taking advantage with the last administration. They only cared about illegal immigrants. They don't give a damn about us. Not at all. Nothing has been about the American citizens. Nothing. And now you got so many people going to lose their health care, their livelihoods. How you going to lose your livelihood and you've been working a job 20 years and you 55? And how are you going to take care of a single home with a minimum wage job? If you can get that. If you can get that. We got to do better. And meanwhile, Putin is sending his drones into Poland, still bombing, Ukraine. And Trump want to bomb every Venezuelan ship or whatever. It's like we itching for a war. We don't have a war outside the country. He keeps mentioning war. And he's talking about inside the country. He said we got a war within. Within. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? If he ran on that, saying that, I would have never voted for him. I don't look at Americans as like the Americans, that we need to, is a war with Americans. We got to do a lot better. A lot better. I don't know what's going on at a higher level that's trying to flood the news media with the same stuff over again until we believe it. That's how you brainwash people. And that's what they did about Trump. I said, oh, they're mistreating Trump. 93% of everything they said about him was negative. Until I believe it. Oh, yeah, he is like this. Oh, he is it. Oh, Project 25. Oh, he's not Project 25. He's Agenda 47. Now they're saying that he got half of Project 25 already completed. 50% of Project 25 has already been implemented. And the author of it is in part of his administration. I'm just so disappointed. I really am.
It's just really crazy to just see how the focus first was illegal immigrants and now it's American citizens.
I thought he said we got 25 million illegal immigrants that have come into our country using up our Medicare, Medicaid, our health care, our Social Security, and all this. We got 240,000 Ukrainians that are here. We got 50,000 national Chinese that are here. We got all these gangs and cartels. We got everybody's here. We closed the border, but we closed it with them here.
Like, you guys remember Tom Homan? It's like people totally forgot about
Tom Homan is not, like, what?
The border czar, right?
You don't even hear about Tom Homan at all. The whole thing, he want to go as many cities as he can to lock up as many people as he can. Most of the people, if you look at the people being locked up that they said committed crimes, he didn't lock up 1,700. There were not 1,700 criminals just walking around the streets. It was 1,700 people. Some of them were illegals, but the other people were probably of my persuasion, but they were being locked up for misdemeanors, just for being black. You can't walk down the street black without being detained. You can't sit on your steps. You can't walk into your home. When did it become about Americans? I thought it was America first. Are we talking about all Americans? Or are we not talking about the left? When I talk about Americans, I'm talking about all Americans, all of us. He's the president of every American. Period.
Even whoever was president when Joe Biden was president didn't do this.
Yeah, even Joe Biden didn't do this. He was awful. I thought he was the worst. And Kamala, I was scared to death. I said, we'd be in a war right now.
The auto pen.
The auto. But God damn, can we get any righteous leaders? All this divide? The election is over. The last thing the Republicans and the Democrats should want is this government to remain closed.
Yeah, it's something that...
Whatever they knew it was coming, whatever they need to do, they need to be meeting 24/7, but they're not.
Yeah, something I don't like is that both sides can never agree on anything.
Never agree on anything.
Me versus me. Me versus you, like, they never could just come
Just
together.
point the finger.
Yeah.
It's, all we're hearing is the Democrats' fault. And the Democrats, it's the Republicans' fault. It's MAGA fault. It's the left fault. No, it's all y'all fault because y'all were elected to serve us. And until y'all get it together, then American citizens are hurting irregardless who you voted for. You're caught in the middle because food prices affect us all. Inflation affects us all. When you go in these cities, it affects us all. All this stuff affects all of us. All of us. This isn't great. Nothing about what he's doing to American citizens is great. I thought it was make America great again. Removing artifacts and history from Smithsonian's does not change history. It's too much literature. Whatever he does, he can't erase it.
Yeah, he changed it to Department of War.
Then Department of War.
Secretary of War.
And you got this headset that was formerly a Fox News anchorman on the weekends. He wasn't even a Monday through Friday anchor. And he's going to get before these generals and admirals and staffers and people who aren't, these are the people, the PhDs, and these people with all these skills, all of them were there to tell them that they need to go into Oregon and we're going to go after Americans and it's the enemy within? Really? That's going against everything that they are supposed to represent. And then they're supposed to be non-biased. They can't be, the military can't be for any particular political party. And you're going to bring them from all over the world to sit in and listen to the mess that they had to listen to? They could have sent that with an email or did a Zoom call. You got people traveling, they spent millions, they said up to maybe $28 million to have them all go to Guanaco, Virginia, for that 75 minutes of parading or whatever. It was just ridiculous. But we need peace. We need to set example for the world. And how's the world looking at us, what our president is doing to our citizens? They're not doing this in England. If Putin was doing this, if President Xi of China was doing this, we would be appalled. We would be appalled. We would say, look at them. They're not like Americans. America would never do that to its citizens. I'm glad to be an American. Look at what we're doing. And we're watching this in real time. Nobody can justify this. There's no justification for this. None. None. And let's ignore that all the crime rates throughout this country have been plundering down. It's been going down in spite of everything he's saying. Baltimore, he wants to talk about 62% down. And they can resolve it. And they know how to. But they just haven't wanted to.
Maryland too, right?
Maryland, yeah. Baltimore, Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, you guys, I got another video that I really want to do, that I want to talk about. But I could not keep saying, like he's trying to say black women wanted the illegal immigrants to stop consuming all of their taxpayer resources in their community. And they had a mayor, Brandon, was putting all the illegals above American citizens. So now, after they went through all this bullshit with Mayor Brandon, now they got President Trump why is ICE at a predominantly black apartment building taking babies out naked, zip tying children? Let them zip tying children, American citizens, and then not releasing them till they had them for hours in vans and trucks and separated from their kids until the search if they had a warrant, so they could arrest them.
Yeah. What do you think about
what kind of Jesus?
What do you think about
Jesus?
What do you think about what Lewis said? They said Mr. Trump will change his mind in certain things. I think he has a heart. He's not going to let nobody suffer no matter where you're coming from.
He is right now. You need to open up your eyes and see what's going on. Because I just said what just happened in Chicago to a predominantly black apartment building of Americans, that they zip tied the children. They had the babies naked. They separated them from their parents. Americans. That's what he just did. Military. He said training ground for the military. We're the enemy within. That's coming from his mouth. He doesn't talk about all the crime that's going on in white America, white on white crime. Somehow that escapes him. Look at my previous video. It's like Trump, he's pointing at black people, turning his back on all the mass shooters in the last month. How many been? Like 5, 6? How many cop killers? Like 8, 9? Not one mention. No National Guards. No outrage. No calling them thugs, criminal, wicked, evil. They were born that way. None of that. We're watching this in real time. This is 2025. We're living in a different day and time that everybody has privy to the truth now. Yeah.
Someone said, they said we voted for this, and someone replied, they said we did not.
You know, Jesus help us. It's like we can't win. We vote blue, we jack. We vote red, we jack. I've never seen or heard of. Only thing I ever heard anything like this has been from in other communist countries that they have treated their citizens like this. I've never heard of this. I don't know, since I've been alive or what, I never heard of this going on, sending the military into all these different cities.
Like imagine how,
and saying that we got the enemy within, and this will be good military training. And to treat America. What happened to all the Trinidad Raga, MS-13, the cartel, ISIS. And the ISIS, and the 50,000 Chinese nationals and the 350 terrorists? What about all these other people that the FBI and the CIA and all of them should be concerned about? While they mess with Americans, they plotting and planning. Okay, we got the memo.
Like, just imagine.
This is sick.
Imagine if we lived in Washington D.C. Me just trying to walk around, go to Wawa and stuff. Imagine.
Yeah. We lived in Washington. I wouldn't even let you go outside, because if you went outside, they would detain you. Yeah. Just like all those other young men, they can't get to college without being detained. They can't go to their jobs. And a lot of times, if you've been in Washington, they're professionals. People not walking around afraid at the Capitol like that. It's an amazing place. But we threw away the homeless like trash. Who cares about them? It's beautiful now. Beautiful. Anyway, we need prayer. We're going to be praying for you guys. We're going to be praying for this nation, praying for our president, praying for the administration, praying they'll do right, because you know what? If they won't, God will. We don't put our faith in man. We put it in God, because man is fallible. You can't expect man to do right. These people think they're going to live forever. And they in charge, and they think they powerful, and they think they could put their foot on your neck, and nothing you could do about it but God. But God. But God. God sees and knows all. And they're going to answer. And there's no all one section in heaven. So you can have your all black town, all white town, whatever you want to do, all the segregation, whatever you want to do. It's not like that in heaven. So unless you plan on going to heaven, then you know you're not getting to heaven. You don't want to accept what God created. And God made this world brown. You know that, right? You know, the white people came along like 10,000 years ago. But everybody came. That's why most of the world is brown. But it's a lot to learn. They try to erase so much history for people not to know who they are, how great they are. And that's what they're trying to do again. That's why they want to remove history, so everybody can forget all the horrific, barbaric stuff that was done to a community of people. But it's everywhere. It's all over the world. There's movies all over the world. It's there. It's there. All the information is out. Ask ChatGPT. ChatGPT will tell you. It's everywhere. It'll tell you the truth. But anyway, you guys, go ahead, because I want to get off. This is not even what I want to do today.
Someone said a good point. It said, as a Bible believer, you should know there will be no justice on earth until Jesus Christ's return.
Yeah, but God said that we still have to... Being a Christian, we have a duty to do what's right and speak the truth. We have a duty.
I'm not gonna read
you know what? You know what? You could stay where you at. Just like Jesus said that he couldn't go into his own town. He just kicked the dust off and kept on moving. You know, you want to hear, I'm not wasting my energy on someone that can't receive a prayer. I said that people wanted prayer. You don't have to. I'd rather have somebody that's sincere and at least have a heart for God. Did someone be fake and phony for you? Did someone want to tickle your fancy and tell you everything you want to hear? Maybe your husband will tell you if you have one, or your wife, or your kids, or your boss, or your neighbor. Maybe somebody is going to tell you everything you want to hear. But if it's not here, hasta luego. You can go somewhere else. I'm not here to cater to anyone. The only person that I give honor to is God. But being a Christian, we're supposed to pray for one another. And we're supposed to say what's right and do what's right. It's a part of being a Christian. And it's a hard thing to do because get people like you. You know how hard it is not to be like or go against or whatever? We all could pray for your children, pray for yourself. I offer it because I'm going to be in an atmosphere that most people don't get to be in their entire life. And I'm going to be praying for this nation, praying for this country, praying for this president. You got to pray for those in authority over you. Because prayer works and it changes things. And I know I am not saying what's popular, and I don't care. I don't care.
It's not your typical channel.
Yeah, I could name you a lot of channels that have black content creators, and they cater to putting other black people down. I mean, they got a million. They have millions of subscribers. They get so many donations. They throw everybody under the bus to scam you out of your money and everything because they putting down. They say what you want to hear. We're not going to do this here. We're respecting every ethnicity, especially my own.
You need to pray for Joe Biden's dementia.
We're going to pray for everybody. Everybody needs prayer. And go to y'all churches or whoever y'all believe in or whatever, but it's something higher than you. You're not the Almighty. And every time we think that we're in control, we're not in control. God is. Well, y'all can fool yourselves all y'all want to, but you're not in control. God is. And those in leadership right now, Trump is supposed to be where he is. God allowed him to be the president of this country for a reason. And a lot of people believe that these are the last days. And we're seeing it being played out. Let there be peace in the Middle East, Gaza, the Red Cow, everything. The next they're doing AI. Next people are going to be doing Mark of the Beast. There's a lot that's going on now that the Bible is playing itself out right now in today's time. So y'all better be looking up, be in your word, look to God, don't look to man, because man is fallible. You can't look for President Trump to solve all our problems, but we're supposed to call him out when he's not doing right. Just like we call him out when he's doing great by all of us. That's how it is. Nobody's perfect. And he certainly is not perfect. None of us are.
God gave us free will, so
yeah,
I don't know what your point you're trying to make.
God is not going to make anybody serve him. He's going to allow you to go to heaven or hell is your choice.
Yeah.
And if you don't believe in heaven and hell, you will find out, because he said every mouth shall confess and every knee shall bow. That Jesus Christ is Lord. You will find out.
He's like yelling, saying that he's in control of his life.
Great. Go with it. Go with it. Nobody's going to argue it. You could believe God gave you could believe whatever you want to believe. But you've been told, and God will bring this back to your remembrance when you stand before him one day, that you've been told. You know, I know I'm not in control. I'm glad that I could call him Daddy. I'm glad that when I'm going through, that he never sleeps nor slumber. I thank God that when I need him, that he's there. I can depend on God, but I can't depend on man. So I'm so thankful that I'm part of the family of God. I'm thankful that I'm a child of God. I am so thankful that it's more than me. Thank you, Jesus. I'm thankful. So anyway, you guys are ready to jump off. I wanted to come back on because it's not the live that I wanted to do, but I wanted to catch some of Trump. I didn't do Caroline, what she said today, but right now, our leadership, they need to come together and they need to solve this shutdown, this shutdown, because at the end of the day, this is another situation that's hurting the American people. We still lose. Every administration, we're still losing. It's hurting Americans. Regardless who you voted for, it's hitting everyone.
Starla, who are you referring to? Because Joe Biden did a lot to black people, specifically black men, with his 1994 crime bill.
Horrific.
That ruined families and generations of black people.
Then when you're trying to do right and you're going to school and stuff, they disrupt everything that you're trying to do that's positive.
So Thomas said a good comment. He said they're gonna be mad when they see God and Jesus are black.
They are. That's what I'm thinking. They're gonna be like, they didn't know. They're gonna be shocked. If y'all got a problem with the pigmentation that God has given people from around the world, take it up with God. Tell God you don't like that He gave people pigmentation. He made our pigmentation certain. Take it up with God. Take it up with God. God didn't make one race more superior than the other, and He didn't give any race a superior brain. He made all our brains the same. He made everything the same. The only thing that He made different as far as human beings is pigmentation. That's it. That's it. And that has a lot to do with the equator. That's it. But all our organs, everything is the same. Our capabilities are all the same. Everything depends on your education. Some people have the opportunity to learn at a higher level because of opportunity. And some people, unfortunately, aren't given the same tools and advantages that some people are given. But that don't make them smarter. That means they just have more opportunity. So anyway, you guys, I'm ready to jump off. Thank you for sharing, subscribing. And if you do want to leave any requests, I'm going to do it like on the next few lives or whatever. And I'll just collect them. And I'll, have people in the massive thousands of people are going to be praying at the same time. Nothing but praying. Praying, praying, praying. Just praying. We're going to open up the sky heaven. Ooh, I can't wait. God is so good. I can't wait to join in on this call to prayer. It's going to be awesome. So anyway, you guys.
Well, Mike said needed to hear this today.
Thank you. See, that's how it is. You can reach one person. That's all that matters. Because some people, it might not have been for the other ones, but it was for you.
Well, group, if you read your Bible, Jesus Christ was a Jewish man, the Son of God.
Okay, you guys, we're going to jump off. We want to get back on. We're going to try to get back on.
They're saying Jesus pronounces they, them, and
we're not going to, Elijah, don't even entertain it. Whatever y'all want to say, whatever you want to say, okay, you're going to answer to God. And you got to give God honor and respect, okay? That's what you have to do. Honor, give God some honor. He's not a man. He's holy. Do you understand that He's holy? You can't even look at God and live. He's holy. He's holy, holy, holy. There's no sin in God. So if you could understand what holiness is, you wouldn't even say what you just said. Okay? So anyway, I got to get off. Thanks, guys. Love you. God bless you. Thanks for giving us life. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you so much. We do appreciate it. And we'll see you in the next live. Peace out.